The Astros won the battle, but lost a key player in last night's win over the Mariners. Altuve and Castro are streaking offensively, but Justin Maxwell's speed and defense are tough to replace. Lucas Harrell needs a repeat of his last start to keep the Astros on the winning track. 2 in a row would be sweet. Time to turn out the lights on Seattle next. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Comcast Sportsnet Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today in the finale of the homestand, the Astros take on the Seattle Mariners. Good afternoon, everybody. Day game, travel day for the Astros, and a chilly day here in Houston. The roof is closed. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby, and we'll be watching a Major League debut and having all kinds of fun this afternoon, Ash.
Robbie Grossman, that guy that's going to get the Major League debut. Hometowner, and so it's awfully nice for Robbie. For the ball club, just another adjustment to be made.
And it's an adjustment because of the injury last night to Justin Maxwell, hit by a pitch on his left hand.
Justin Maxwell, tough break right here, and no play on words at all. To see a guy that's trying to make that moment in the big leagues happen and stick, but Justin Maxwell with a broken bone in the hand, and he will go down. He's been playing great defense in center field and swinging the bat well at times. Robbie Grossman gets the opportunity, a guy that has put up some very fine numbers and intriguing numbers in the minor leagues, matching what Nick Swisher did some years back, scoring 100 and walking over 100 times in one given season. So Robbie Grossman might figure in as a very ideal leadoff man.
He will be leading off today with Jose Altuve batting second on his 9-game hitting streak. And the pitching matchup is Joe Saunders and Lucas Harrell. Saunders had a shutout start against the Astros in Seattle.
Joe Saunders, a veteran left-hander. He's been tough on left-hand hitters. Right-hand hitters have had a good time. He's pitched well at home, but not so well on the road. Saunders is not the strikeout guy you see right here. He'll pick up his occasionally. But again, that soft tosser who just really tries to stay down in the strike zone. Lucas Harrell, another one of those guys who needs to be down. That is the ideal for Lucas when he comes up. Not many times he's going to blow it over the bat like this. Lucas Harrell, a couple of good. Make that 3 decent starts this year, 3 good ones and 1 rough one.
Carlos Pena and the Astros are coming up next, and so is Julia Morales, talking with Matt Dominguez about a lot of things regarding the state of the Astros in just a moment.
Comcast Sportsnet closing out the series between the Astros and the Mariners. It's all tied up 1 game apiece. And I'm on the field now joined by third baseman Matt Dominguez, who's been nice over there on third. But first I want to ask you about your elbow. It's been a couple of days now. You were in the game last night, but how's it feeling?
It feels good, you know. It didn't get too swollen and things like that, so it was a little stiff the next day, but you know, it felt great yesterday and got some treatment and feels even better today, so no complaints.
You took that hit by pitch like a champ. All right, well, on third base, just your play. You're so smooth over there. Why are you so smooth, Matt?
I don't know. I think, you know, I'm just pretty confident over there with my defense, and, you know, I work on it, and it just kind of carries over the game. And, you know, if the ball's hit to me, I catch it. That's pretty much what my philosophy, just catch the ball and get it out somewhere. So I can't tell you why I'm so smooth. I just try to catch it.
Well, you make it sound so easy. The other guys in that infield defense say good things about you all the time. But what's the chemistry like with that group? Marwin, Bronny, Altuve. I mean, what's the chemistry like between you guys?
It's good. You know, we're all having a fun time. I think that's the biggest thing is trying to keep it fun and loose. And, you know, Altuve is funny, and Marwin's great, and Los is always great. So sometimes I have a hard time because they start speaking Spanish. I don't know what they're saying, but no, it's been great. You know, the more the season goes along, I think the more we're starting to gel and things.
All right, well, series tied up at 1. What's it going to take to grab this series from Seattle today?
I think, you know, just go out and be aggressive with the bats and, you know, swing at our pitches and barrel some balls, and, you know, and Harold will throw a good game, and let's play some good defense, and I think, you know, things will be looking good.
All right, good luck today.
Thank you very much.
That's Matt Dominguez. They call him Domingo. Coming up after the break, the Astros and Mariners wrap up a 3-game series here in Houston. Stros looking to take the series from their new division rivals. Don't go anywhere.
Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Final game of the homestand. The field has been prepared. The roof has been closed. It was really chilly when we got up this morning. The Astros and Mariners will say farewell to this series. The Astros have won 1 series. That was the one in Seattle. Here's the starting lineup for the Mariners, and they go with Andy Chavez in center field, Kyle Seager at third base, Kendrys Morales the DH, Michael Morse in right field, Justin Smoke at first base, Raul Ibanez in left field, Kelly Shopik the catcher, Dustin Ackley at second base, Robert Andino at shortstop.
Right-hander Lucas Harrell on the hill for the Astros. for Lucas, 27 years of age. He has pitched well in 3 of his 4 starts. One rough one that has kind of balanced out the numbers. You see the ERA very near that 5 mark. But 24 hits, a little more than he would like in 21 2/3 innings. Not a big strikeout guy.
He's facing the Mariners for the first time. Andy Chavez, the speedy leadoff man, takes the first pitch. It's strike 1. Tom Halley, the crew chief, is calling the balls and strikes. Chavez at 242 has no homers, 3 runs batted in. He's filling in for the injured Franklin Gutierrez in center field. Chavez starting all 3 games of this series. He was in left field the first night of the series Monday night. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Phil Cuzzi, Chris Guccione, Ron Culpa round out the crew. Lucas Harrell was drafted by the White Sox in 04. He throws a ball to make it 2-1. He was a waiver claim by Houston in June of 2011. He was 11 and 11 last year for the Astros. That's to left field and near the line, and it loops in for a hit in front of Chris Carter to open the game with a Chavez single.
Defense behind Lucas Harrell here this afternoon. Doing the catching, it's Carlos Corporan around the infield. Brandon Laird gets the start at first. Jose Altuve at second. Ronnie Cedeno gets the start at short, and Matt Dominguez, who we just heard from, at third base. In the outfield, Robbie Grossman, major league debut in center field, flanked by Brandon Barnes in right and Chris Carter in left.
Now the speedy Chavez on. He is 0 for 1 in steals. Kyle Seager has been torrid lately. He's on a career high 12-game hitting streak. Seager looks at ball 1. Seager is at 278 to start the day. He has 2 homers, 9 runs batted in, a 345 on base average. He has 10 doubles to lead the American League. And Seager last night had a hit and a walk. Then he lined out. He had a 2-run homer and a single Monday night. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Seager is seeming to be at the top of his game right now. And he's played well at third base too. The Mariners are 8 and 14. They're 1 and 4 on this road trip. They were swept in the 3-game series at Texas before coming here. Seager takes a look at it. It's a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Harrell has walked 13 in 21 2/3 innings. Last year he walked 78 in 193 innings. On the road, Seager has hit .311. Kyle, a 3rd-round draft choice in 09 by the M's. Harrell froze on that one, and it's called ball 3. It's 3-1.
This pitch is pretty close. It's not where it was desired in. He finds that outside edge area high in the strike zone. But so far that upper outer area is not being called strikes.
Throw goes over to first. Andy Chavez is 35 years old. So probably not the base stealer he was 7 or 8 years ago. But he can move around still pretty effectively. He's going. It's a strike. The throw will get him easily on a rundown with Cedeno getting it to Laird at first. Wow. He was about halfway to second when Corcoran's throw arrived at Cedeno. So it was a caught stealing from 2 to 6 to 3. And strike 2 was the call.
Well, you can guarantee yourself this was not a hit and run. And when you take off your Andy Chavez, you better know that you have the stolen base possibility. You can't be counting on the hitter to take care of this pitch like you would have with a hit and run. Looking back all the way, though.
Sure was. 3-2 pitch is foul back. Yeah, he just kept his gaze on home plate the whole time when he was running towards second. So the caught stealing goes 2 to 6 to 3. Mariners are 13th in runs scored with 70 runs in their 22 games in the American League. And now a walk. Seager replaces Chavez at first with Kendrys Morales coming up.
I don't think we hear nationally about Kyle Seager a whole lot yet. Again, a guy who led these Mariners in some offensive categories a year ago. But I think we're going to hear more and more. I like him a lot with the bat.
Well, Kendrys Morales has put on a power show in this series. Hit a long home run last night, 267, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Has homers in each of the first 2 games of this series. And this one toward the left field line will slice and go away, and out of play there for Chris Carter. But he hit one left-handed Monday night. And that was in the 5th inning. Brad Peacock, the starter. And then last night he connected from the right side.
A lot of times pitchers will talk about only making a couple of mistakes during a ball game. That was a mistake. It just didn't cost. Got to stay out of that zone with these big hitters.
Morales is 7 for 14 with 2 homers against the Astros. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was just a massive home run he hit last night. Hit off the second row of those billboards underneath the lights in left field.
The name Albert Pujols came to mind. Some might remember that game.
A few might.
Way up in there.
Shot. Fly ball out to right center field. Coming in on it, Brandon Barnes with the catch. 2 outs. Well, Barnes, who's played center, he can play all 3 outfield positions. Moves to right for this game with Grossman making his debut in center field. Mike Morse is next. You don't think there are any butterflies at work for that young man, do you?
There ought to be. I'll tell you what, we've got some of the youngsters out there right now, right and center, and see for a while how they do.
23 years old. Robbie came in the Wandy Rodriguez trade last July. Morse takes it. There's a snap throw to first. Whoa! They almost got him, but I think Laird missed the tag, but the ball was there. Corporon really making some throws here in this inning.
Nice and quick from the knees from behind the plate. It's difficult always for a right-handed first baseman. There you just try to find a way to reach back in, but that left-handed first baseman has a way to slip around the bag and just drop the right hand in nicely.
Good point. Pitcher strike 1 to Morse. Ground ball. Altuve at second. Over to Laird. No runs, a hit, and a man left. No score. Up again with this Cole Porter starting lineup. Robbie Grossman, center field, major league debut. Jose Altuve, second base. Brandon Laird, first base. Carlos Pena, DH. Chris Carter, left field. Carlos Corporan, catcher. Ronnie Cedeno, shortstop. Matt Dominguez, third base. Brandon Barnes, right field.
Left-hander Joe Saunders on the mound for Seattle. 32 years of age. Saunders, last win coming against the Astros, that back on the 8th of the month. Last time out, just 4 days ago against the Texas Rangers in Arlington, got roughed up a bit, 4 2/3 innings, allowing 9 hits and 7 earnings in that one. And the defense behind Joe Saunders. Behind the plate today with the day game, Kelly Shoppach gets the start at first base. Justin Smoke, Dustin Ackley at second, Robert Andino at short, and Kyle Seager at third. In the outfield, Andy Chavez is in center field. and he'll be flanked by Morrison right and Ibanez in left.
Robbie Grossman takes strike one. He is known for working the count. .324 batting average at Oklahoma City. No homers, 5 runs batted in. Broken bat. It goes on one bounce to the shortstop, Andino, and there's his first major league at bat.
Robbie Grossman only stole 1 base in the minor leagues so far this year, but he got down the line very well right here, and a big smile on his face. That first at bat out of the way.
And his dad was documenting it on video.
Apparently he's still using minor league bats.
Dad and Mom with a smile. They live in Cypress, Texas. That's the way it starts in the big leagues for the Grossmans. Well, he got that out of the way. Smiles all around. And now Jose Altuve on a 9-game hitting streak. He smacks it foul, strike one. He has no problems hitting second. Leading the majors in hits with 30. Has the 3rd best American League batting average at .370 with a homer, 9 runs batted in. He's been leading off, and that's why it was interesting to see if Bo Porter would want to keep him in that leadoff spot with the hitting streak and how well things have been going, but he did not.
Well, if you got to that point where you wanted Altuve back in the leadoff spot, I would think Grossman would set up nice as a 2-hitter.
There's a looping fly ball to right field, and Morse comes in. 2 outs.
Grossman would be a guy you could, as a switch hitter, kind of play around with, hit and runs, maybe bunting occasionally, taking some pitches, taking advantage of the hole on the right side.
Brandon Laird gets another start, and he has established that he's going to play after arriving from Oklahoma City. 154 for Brandon, 2 for 13 so far. This is his 4th start since his recall. It's his 3rd at first base, the other at 3rd. That was in last night's game at 3rd base.
Got a couple pitchers this afternoon that actually want to get at the workload.
Line shot, left field corner. It stays by the base of the wall, and that's a double for Laird. His first double of the season. Attacked that first pitch from Saunders.
Didn't come up with anything offensively last night, but he gets so many good swings. He's an intriguing offensive player. And we saw him play some fine 3rd base the other night. He scorched this ball.
Laird's aboard. That was Monday night that he started at 3rd base. 1 double last year. And now he's on the board with number 1 this year, with Carlos Pena following. 221 for Carlos. 1 for 6 with a couple of walks in this series. Walked twice last night in 4 plate appearances, one of those intentional. Well, here's a throw behind Laird. He was really aggressive with his lead toward 3rd. Kelly Shopik picked up on that and threw to Andino.
You get that shortstop in position where the catcher can just take advantage and just fires one up there. Doesn't look like they had a play on because Andino hadn't really made a move toward the bag.
Andino's not far from the bag with where they're shifted right now on Pena. Second baseman Ackley is not on the outfield grass. It's a different kind of shift, but he's facing a left-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike, and when he's been facing right-handed pitching, they've had the second baseman out in shallow right field. Pena's 0 for 6 lifetime against Saunders. Saunders 1-0 with a 3.26 career ERA against Houston in 3 starts.
Carlos, get him in.
Foul back. 1-2 to Pena. Pena has been on base in 9 straight games now. In the last 13 games, his on base percentage has been .411. Saunders, 32 years old, was 9-13 for Arizona with a 4.07 ERA a year ago. Came as a free agent to the Mariners, signing in February. Pena went for it and struck out to end the Astros first. A 10-pitch inning for Saunders, no runs, a hit. Grossman grounds out on a shattered bat, and it's no score. Flexible ticket plans are on sale now. To learn about all the exclusive benefits and pricing, or to get your Astros ticket packages today, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Wednesday afternoon crowd watching a scoreless game through one. Both teams put men on base. Now in the second inning, it's Lucas Harrell and Justin Smoak to get it started. Smoak has been ripping the ball as a left-handed batter in this series and pulling some hits just inside the first base and right field line. He's hitting .224. He has no homers, 4 runs batted in. Smoak was 2 for 4 last night. He's facing Harrell for the first time in his career and looking at strike one.
Talk about those numbers, one side of the plate or the other. He's been much better. 264 versus 130 from this left side of the plate versus the right.
Crowds him 1-1. Swing has looked very solid from the left side of the plate in this series. Last night against Bud Norris, he singled to right field the first 2 times up. That's a strike. That's a big call for Lucas. He likes to sink the ball down in that area.
If he can get that call, that should help him a good deal. But in the first inning, we saw a number of pitches floating right up in the strike zone.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas works quickly.
That won't bother me.
Won't bother anybody today.
Especially the guys behind defensively. Some of the paces have been tough to take.
Last night, the final score was 3-2. Houston beating Seattle. Game time, 3 hours, 13 minutes.
It was a game that at one point looked like it could push toward 4 hours. Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot going on a lot of the time, but a nice win in the end for the Astros.
3 balls, 2 strikes. There was a lot of traffic. The Astros left 11 men on base. Seattle left 7 last night. The 2 teams combined for 17 hits. Foul back. And the count remains 3-2 to Justin Smoak of the University of South Carolina. First round pick of the Rangers in 2008. And he came in a trade along with some pitching talent. Blake Bevan, who's in the Mariners rotation. Lucas Litke, who's down in the minors now. And the Cliff Lee deal. And there's a walk to Smoak leading it off. And this is the thing that's not quite in sync so far this year with Lucas Harrell, the walks. That's the second of this game.
And you see the walks mounting a bit this year. A little early to put a whole lot of emphasis on those numbers, but the trend is moving upward in terms of being out of the strike zone.
Raul Ibanez takes a look at it. It's strike one to a 160 hitter with 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. Ibanez is 3 for 9 against the Astros this year. Doug Brocail and Bo Porter talking it over. Late on that swing, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to the 42-year-old veteran. That's not bad. He's only 40.
Give him a break, will you?
That's just not right. Add 2 years to a guy's age.
You're messing with my age, and you're messing with trouble.
Kelly Shopik is on deck. Last year, Ibanez got hot in the playoffs for the Yankees. He hit .444 in the division series with 2 homers, 3 runs batted in. So that'll turn back the clock a little bit on a guy's age. Hit another homer in the league championship series. 1-2, and then signed as a free agent to return to Seattle for his 3rd stint with the Mariners.
He was like a 28-year-old superstar during the postseason last year.
19 homers during the regular season and 384 at bats. He strikes out. It looks more like 42 right there.
Yeah.
It's Earth Week. Shade sunny windows to cut down on air conditioner use and save money. Awnings can reduce some rays by as much as 77%. Green is universal.
It's pretty precise.
Kelly Shopik is the batter. Shopik at .333 with 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. Kelly had a big game against the Astros in Seattle. An experienced backup catcher. He was 3 for 3 with a homer and a walk in that game at Seattle, April 10th. There's a strike to him. Shopik was a second-round pick of Boston in 01. Then he moved along in a trade to Cleveland, and Tampa Bay got him in another trade. Back to Boston, the Mets. Well, he signed as a free agent with the Seattle club in February this year. Backing up Jesus Montero now. He takes, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The Mariners have struggled to beat the Astros this year. The Astros have won 3 and lost 2 against Seattle. These clubs have combined for 19 homers in the 5 games against each other. Time call. Dustin Ackley is on deck. Lucas Harrell in 18 career starts at Minute Maid Park is 7-6 with an ERA of 3.00. This year he's lost 2 of 3 at home with an ERA of 6.19. In tight. 2 balls and a strike. Astros can wind up with a 500 homestand with a win today at 3-3.
Lucas Harrell's ready to go, but Kelly Shopik with each pitch steps out and kind of has the routine, slows it down.
Shopik's going shopping. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's part of a routine I would love to see Major League Baseball eliminate. That is well placed down and away, but Shopik back out of the box now and doing his thing. I would love to see baseball say, look, if you want to step out, that's fine, but we're going to go ahead and signal the pitcher to bring the pitch to the plate. Let's see if we can make this game get played.
It's a capital idea. Fly ball center field. Robbie Grossman backing on it. And there for the catch, 2 outs.
Well, I think it's imperative that we get the young kids involved in loving the game, and I don't think standing around does much for that.
Now Corcoran comes out and talks with Harrell before facing Dustin Ackley, the number 8 hitter, who's on a 4-game hitting streak. Ackley with a 200 batting average, has no homers and 1 RBI. Ackley's facing Harrell for the first time. But Ackley, even though he has that puny batting average, he's picked up the pace in this series. He's gone 4 for 8 at a 3-hit game Monday night. Robert Andino's on deck. That is strike 1.
Swung the bat well overall against the Astros this year, 6 for 18.
Well, the Mariners, who have struggled offensively, are 14th in the league in on base average and 14th in slugging. 1 ball, 1 strike. Against the Astros, they've averaged just a shade under 5 runs per game, though, with 24 runs in 5. Ackley fouls it. It's 1-2. Dustin has hit .346 in his last 6 games. Mariners have a long way to go to get back home from Texas. That is a lengthy flight. They'll play tomorrow night against the Angels at home. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros will play tomorrow night in Boston. Open a 4-game series. The last time and the only other time they've been to Fenway Park, they were swept in a 3-game series. Philip Umber and Clay Buchholz tomorrow night. Now 3-2 to Ackley. The pitch count's running up to 39 now for Lucas Harrell.
Would certainly figure that Justin Smoke will get himself a sizable jump right here with the first baseman moving behind.
Peña's moving the right fielder deeper. And there's a line drive to center. There's a hit, and Smoke is going first to third. Grossman throwing back into the shortstop. On the 2-out single by Ackley, that takes his hitting streak to 5 games and brings up Andino.
Little indecision on the part of Grossman in center field as to where and maybe how quickly to get rid of this ball. Just another pitch left up and hammered, in this case by Ackley. Get this ball back in as quickly as possible.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Harrell. Robert Andino, 161 is his average. He came in for Brendan Ryan last night. Ryan left the game after going 0 for 2, and Andino came in and went 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Last year, Andino played 5 different positions. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Robert just turned, well, he will turn 29 tomorrow. Robert played with Baltimore last year. Came up with the Marlins. .235 lifetime batting average. Arrow misses, and it's 2-1.
This is right where he wanted the pitch.
Harrell's last 2 starts, he's 1-0 with a 2.31 ERA. No decision against the Angels and a win last time against Cleveland. And he went 5 2/3 in both of those games. The Astros are in a stretch of 26 games in 27 days. Bullpen performed well last night. Travis Blackley, Hector Ambriz, Jose Veras combining for 4 innings of 1-run baseball in the 3-2 win for Bud Norris. Veras getting his second save. Off the plate, ball 3, and now it's 3-2 to Andino.
Once again, runner going from first base now, but it's not a time to just find the heart of the plate again. Harrell's got to start finding that strike zone down around the knees consistently.
On his 4th 3-2 count, he strikes out Andino to end the top of the second with no runs a hit, 2 men stranded, and no score.
Bottom of the second. Time for our AT&T tweet of the game. It's from center fielder Justin Maxwell. He says, "Wish I didn't have a broken hand, but wouldn't trade it for an RBI that helped lead to an important Astros W. Praying for a speedy recovery." We, of course, are also hoping for a speedy recovery for Justin Maxwell. Tough news for this clubhouse to take last night. They were all hurting for their teammate as they called him the leader of this clubhouse. And as you see in his tweet, he's still finding reasons to smile. A very positive guy. He's actually had this injury before. Just on the other hand, no timetable yet, as he will visit with a hand specialist today. Guys.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for, so that's why we can't give you that date of projected return. Thanks, Julia. Chris Carter, the batter, leading it off in a scoreless game in the home second. There's strike one to Chris.
That's an interesting comment, leader of the clubhouse. And I hadn't stopped to think about that, but he is that kind of a personality.
Yep. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Chris Carter. 2 for 8 in this series. With those numbers for the season. Inside to him, and it's 2-1. Carter has not yet hit left-handers well this season. Well, tip makes it 2-2.
Just further on the subject about Justin Maxwell, when I say he is that kind of personality, not loud, boisterous, anything like that, just a real quality guy that I think anybody would look up to.
Quiet leader, you're right. 3-2. Well, a lot of guys lead by example.
Exactly.
Wonder if Justin will do the Kobe Bryant thing and start tweeting about Astros games now.
Well, we're not hearing that yet.
Wow. Carter will take the tour on this monster shot. 1-0 Astros, number 5. He's starting to hit left-handers now.
There you go.
5 homers, 11 runs batted in for Chris Carter.
Do you think there's reason to think he might have some ability in there somewhere?
There's some power. Whoa. What a swing of the bat.
Rather impressive. Well, somebody's going to have somewhere that he's a very good day hitter indoors against left-hand pitching. I don't think Chris doubted that ball as to where it was going to wind up.
Well, they could play that sound all day. That'd be entertaining for about 3 hours right there.
Don't do it all flight long, though.
Carlos Corporan takes what a special sound, and that one also wound up on the billboards.
Oh, that's just insane.
Well, Andres Morales rattled one of those boards last night, and now just a few hours later Carter does it. 2 balls, no strikes to Carlos Corporan. 267, no homers, 1 RBI.
Okay, so the Mariners have seen the power of Chris Carter this year.
They sure have. They hit 2 home runs in 1 game against them.
This is his 4th on the season against Seattle, and so he has flexed pretty well.
4 homers, 6 runs batted in for Chris, and he was hitting .435 against them before that one. Glove by Seager at third. Throws out Corporan for out number 1. The Astros right-handed hitters getting some good swings with Laird's double and Carter's homer off Saunders. Right-handed hitters are hitting .318 for the season against Saunders. And Carter really rocked one. Ronnie Cedeno comes up. He's on a 5-game hitting streak. 269, no homers, 3 runs batted in. He is 2 for 4 against Seattle pitching this year. Marwin Gonzalez not in the lineup today. And both shortstops have been productive. There's ball 1. Last night, Marwin homered in the Astros 3-2 win. There's a line shot to left field. That's a hit in front of Ibanez. And Cedeno takes his hitting streak to 6 games.
Solidly hit ball by Cedeno. Nice to see as he gets a chance to play at shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez has been playing so well. He just hangs out the linea.
That Chris Carter homer was measured at 440 feet.
Yeah, you could play that home run over and over with the caption under it, "Patience required here."
Work the count to 3-2. Matt Dominguez is next. Strike to Dominguez, 246, no homers, 5 runs batted in. Matt's 2 for 4 in this series. And that was last night's game. He sat out the game before on Monday when Brandon Laird played third because Matt had been hit on the left elbow by a pitch Sunday. Broken bat. There's the flip. And And Dino, the middleman, with a toss from Ackley, it turns into a 4-6-3 double play. But the Carter home run makes it 1-0 Houston after 2. By Chris Carter, his 5th of the year. We go to the 3rd inning, and it's the top of the order. Andy Chavez showing bunt and taking strike 1. He opened the game with a line drive single to left field, then he was caught stealing. Third baseman Matt Dominguez is in on the grass. It's 0-2 to Andy Chavez. Bunting is a big part of his game. One of those premier defensive players down through his career with the Mets in Kansas City and other teams. Baltimore, whoops, one got away.
It sounded to me like a microphone was rather nearby.
Well, the bat went in one direction, Indy went in the other because he struck out. Number 3 for Harrell.
That knob exploded on the bat, it looked like. Yeah, better there than in the stands.
Absolutely. Kyle Seager comes up next. Seager drew a walk on a 3-2 count, and there have been 4 of those for Lucas Harrell in this game. That's his 50th pitch. It's a curve, and it's in for a strike. Seager was the club MVP for the Mariners last year. That's a strike, and it's 0-2. Well, the Mariners are 8-14. The Astros are 6-14. So the Astros 1 game behind Seattle. If the Astros win this game today, they would be in a virtual tie in the AL West. Percentage points apart. Still no balls, 2 strikes.
It is a virtual world, Brownie.
It is, isn't it? It's gotten really. We were talking in the clubhouse about Twitter and Facebook and all these trends in recent years, how they've affected our lives.
I'm trying to not allow them to affect mine a whole lot.
Did you see what happened yesterday on Twitter with the Associated Press report? Somebody hacked the Associated Press Twitter account.
Yeah, that's just so many things so unfortunate these days.
Man, how it affected things so much.
Yep.
Stock market went crazy.
Dove over 100 points immediately.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Does the bat go through? You get to make the call. Looks to me like the wrist tried to hold that back despite the bat going across the plate.
Yeah, I think he controlled it. Ground ball to first. And Laird is there for out number 2.
Astros big and bright Friday nights are A perfect combination of baseball and family fun. Each Friday night game is followed by a spectacular fireworks show that's presented by Marathon Oil. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to get your tickets today.
May 3rd coming up. Games with Detroit up there.
Could be some fireworks on the field during that series.
Wow. Good ball went to Morales.
Prince Fielder, Miguel Cabrera. How can you not say Miguel Cabrera first?
Yeah. Well,
shame on me.
No, they're both great hitters, and now Torrey Hunter has joined that group.
Off to a terrific start.
And you've got Justin Verlander. And Jose Valverde is back to close for them now. How about that development?
A human water feature.
He just signed. A meteoric rise. Foul back, and with his really disappointing play in the playoffs last year, a lot of people were surprised that Detroit would bring him back, and then some suggested, well, he'll be a setup man, but not for the skipper. Jim Leyland said, no, he's the closer. That's a swing and a strikeout for Harrell. That's number 4. And now he starts to roll. That's a 1-2-3 inning, including a bat that got away from Andy Chavez. No damage done. 1-0 Astros. Felder, who was just in our booth a moment ago, brings his unique blend of interviews, debate, and analysis of Houston sports and beyond on Sports Talk Live weekdays at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. He had to rush off to work.
He left no trace, none whatsoever.
Oh, and they are just grooving to the sounds here at Minute Maid Park on a Wednesday afternoon. Isn't this a school day?
Is it a groove or a rut?
This is kind of a movement there.
Larry Anderson used to point out that it was very difficult to tell if you were in a groove or a rut.
That's Tim Paris's daughter with Alex is eating French fries. So now that we've identified her, she'll be reported to her teacher. Brandon Barnes, a line drive to right field. And he's on to lead off the home 3rd inning. That gives him a 4-game hitting streak. Jumped right on the first pitch, as did Cedeno in the last inning. And Laird in the first inning.
This is how you hit it with your newspaper. Right off the end of the bat. Little flare that drops in front of the outfielder to hit every time.
Home delivery from the Houston Chronicle.
There you go. It'll be a line drive by tomorrow.
Robbie Grossman grounded out, and Saunders broke his bat first time up. Now he takes ball from Cy-Fair High School. He was born in San Diego but grew up in this area and was offered a scholarship to the University of Texas, but decided to sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who drafted him in the 6th round in 2008. He bunts but fouls it, and that's part of Robbie Grossman's game, getting on base. in any fashion he can. And last year he was at AA Altoona for the Pirates when he was traded for Wandy Rodriguez. That was in July. So at Altoona before the trade he had a 378 on base average, and at Corpus Christi after the trade, as Robbie Grossman's parents know, he had a 371 on base average. Good numbers, and good numbers again this year at AAA. And the Astros got a good enough look at him in spring training that Bull Porter is comfortable with elevating Robbie Grossman to this leadoff spot. Dave Tremblay with signs.
I'm very intrigued by a guy who's not a big home run hitter, therefore doesn't impart the fear in opposing pitchers to pitch around him, and yet he draws over 100 walks in a season.
Yeah, that's impressive. There goes Barnes. Here's the throw from Shopik. It's there. Out. The throw was right on the money from Shopik, and Barnes is caught stealing. For out number one, the pitch was a ball, so it's 2-2.
Nice job on the tag down at second base as well. Watch this glove come right down. Just try to get it to some part of the leg, the foot, as quickly as possible. Don't reach as much as possible. That's, you know what, when it's all said and done, I'm not so sure he didn't get in there.
He got in there, but he was called out. Clock still in 2-4. Fly ball right field line. Is this Grossman's first major league hit? It is a hit. It's in the corner, and it disappears out of play now. It's a double. First major league hit for Robbie Grossman, a two-base hit.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch presented by Steel Dealers. And Robbie Grossman, that first major league hit, he takes one away and then tries to bunt, make something happen. Fouls one back, takes inside. This is where the caught stealing happens, one that maybe was called incorrectly. And now, right down the line, and drops it just inside the chalk. First major league hit, a double. And Mom and Dad very pleased. Mom, a little more casual than Dad. I've seen it before.
What a way to break in. Eric Wedge went out to argue that call. It was Phil Cuzzi, the first base umpire. But Grossman is in with a double. You know, Bull Porter said before the game, we could have waited until we arrived in Boston to have Robbie Grossman join us there, but since he's a local guy from Houston, we wanted him to make his debut here today so his parents could see him. Jose Altuve, fly ball to right earlier. It's not every time, though, that the guy comes through with a hit his second time up in his major league debut. So Robbie did his part to cash in and give his parents a big moment. 23 years old, Robbie Grossman. It's 2-0 to Altuve. Altuve said today around the batting cage, I would like to play every game this year, 162.
That's a great goal. I love hearing that from a guy.
The Astros are 1 for 44 with men in scoring position. Balls, one strike. And with the DH, that can allow him a few days off from second base to stay in the lineup. Astros did not have a hit with a runner in scoring position in this series.
It's been a while.
They're 0 for 22 in this series with men in scoring position.
1 for 44 in their last 5 games with men in scoring position.
It's 3-1. Well, that's pretty good if you were to say, well, you're going to be 0 for 22 your first 2 games of a series with runners in scoring position. And you think you'll win one of those games? They won one.
Yeah, isn't that true? 3-2 ball game.
And then Laird's on deck.
Well, they won in a game they were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position.
3-2. Another question now. You see last night the Astros 0 for 14. Risp, first win of the Astros after hitless with 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position since August 15th for the 1980 Astros. That's going way back.
Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, the place.
You remember it?
No, I just read. Okay. I've got it in front of me. No, I don't recall that. I do recall there was a period of time where Dodger Stadium and then a little bit later Jack Murphy Stadium became kind of houses of horror for the Astros.
Oh, yeah. Jack Murphy was. Well, your buddy and my buddy Jim DeShays had to resort to incantations to try to get rid of the spell that was on this Astros club. Altuve draws a walk.
I never would have thought Jim would resort to that sort of thing.
He did.
Yeah. I remember at Dodger Stadium they actually brought in a psychiatrist or a psychologist to talk to the entire team and each person individually, and we were put in a trance and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. It didn't work for me.
No. Brendan Laird doubled it after.
Tried to stick us to a wall, and I peeled myself off and didn't endear myself to the gentleman.
You didn't stick?
No, the sticky didn't work at all.
Strike one to Laird. We can talk to our buddy Steve Sparks over in the Astros radio booth.
He's pretty sticky.
He sort of came under the influence of a sports psychologist when he was in spring training. Ground ball, foul. 0-2, and that led to one of the famous sports injuries of all time. Steve dislocated his shoulder while trying to rip a phone book apart.
That's an easy one to call. Yeah. Why does a pitcher do that?
Well, he was doing it in front of his teammates, and he said he got about halfway ripped on it, and he thought, well, they were all chanting for me, so I had to try to rip it all the way through, and that's when I dislocated my left shoulder.
I'm impressed he would even try.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
A little turned over changeup right there. Makes you think a little bit about Fernando Valenzuela.
There's Sparky. He's healthy now again, though. No more phone books.
He's got about 10 phone books in there. Have you been in and seen?
No.
I think he has 9 now. He had 10.
Must have ripped one last night. Grounder foul. Well, on the flight, you can have him tell you exactly how that happened.
Well, I've actually had him tell me the story, but because it came from his lips, I wasn't sure I was ready to believe it.
He is actually banned from being in the same room with phone books now.
Can we Chiron that shot, phone book ripper?
Bouncer Saunders gets it on to the second sacker, Ackley, and then it's over to first to Smoke for a 1-4-3 double play. But Grossman got his first major league hit, and it's 1-0 Astros. Chris Carter in the second inning. Inning number 4 begins with Michael Morse. Lucas Harrell delivers. There's strike one. Morse grounded out to second in the first. Be followed by Smoke and Ibanez here in the Seattle 4th inning. Harrell delivers, and it's 0-2 for Lucas. Lucas is averaging 2.11 ground balls or fly ball so far this season. That's a strikeout. That's number 5.
Now, Lucas Harrell, I wouldn't say he's overly sharp. That's not an ideal pitch, though he does find the outside corner, leaving it up right there. But Harrell has thrown 10 of 13 first pitches for strikes.
Justin Smoke walked on a 3-2 count in the second inning. This one goes out to left center field. Grossman going for it. Carter there. Carter right in front of the wall. 2 outs. A 1 pitch out number 2 for Harrell. Well, Norris went 5 last night through 96 pitches in those 5 innings and earned his 3rd win of the year. The Astros starting pitchers as a group 5-11 with a 5.93 ERA. Raul Ibanez is getting something for his bat before he comes up. All right, now he can grip it. Ibanez struck out in the second inning. So the Astros starting pitchers with 91 innings have worked only about 7 innings more than their relief corps for the season.
Expand on that one, boys.
That's ball 1. The bullpen, though, is in good shape for today's game. Blackley went a couple of innings last night. Ambrose had an efficient 8th, and so did Veras in the 9th, so they're both available. Paul Clemens ready to go again. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice pace here by Lucas Harrell. Really getting the game moving a bit. As soon as I say that, he steps off the hill, but Raul Ibanez slows it down. Harrell is the one guy on the staff that'll just come right at you.
Fly ball on the left side of the infield. Dominguez over near the line. And that is an 8-pitch inning for Lucas Harrell. He's retired 7 straight, and he leads 1-0. Home run in the second inning. The Astros lead it. It's a big 7-game road trip against the heart of the AL East. Starting with 4 in Beantown against the Boston Red Sox. Astros pregame live kicks things off at 5 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, only on Comcast Sportsnet. And we check tomorrow night's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. It's Philip Umber, 0-4 with a 6.63 ERA, but his first 3 starts were really good. And Clay Buchholz, a native Texan, at 4-0 with a 0.90 ERA, 29 strikeouts and 11 walks. That's the first matchup in that 4-game series. Tomorrow night, coverage begins at 5.
With pitching like that, you can see why the Red Sox have gotten off to a nice start.
Yeah. Carlos Pena, formerly with the Red Sox, DHing today, struck out in the first inning. So he'll be going back where he had that scare with what happened during the marathon with his family there in Boston. On lockdown, but everybody's fine. There's ball 1 from Joe Saunders. Joe Saunders has not given up a homer to a left-handed batter in years.
32 starts, something like that?
Yeah. Back to the final start of the 2011 season when James Loney connected against him in Arizona. There's a drive to center field. Andy Chavez over into right center. 1 out. Take a look at some tape measure shots in this series.
This was certainly one up under that 0-1 banner. Montero hit that one. This one is Kendrys Morales, and you can see he kind of had no doubt about it. But this is the king of them all, y'all. Up and over all the billboards. Chris Carter decided, I don't think I'm going to need to sprint on this one.
Carter comes around for the second time, taking ball 1. Saunders misses there, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count. Saunders, for the Angels in 08 and 09 combined, went 33 and 14. Only Roy Halladay, CC Sabathia, and Cliff Lee won more in those 2 seasons combined. He falls behind Carter, 3-0. Carter has been working the count well this year. He's second in the American League in pitches per plate appearance. And he's just taken a 4-pitch walk. That respect he got from the home run. Second walk for Saunders now.
That shows me Saunders is nobody's fool.
Yeah. Carlos Corporan is the batter. He rounded out third on a 2-0 pitch. His last start was Saturday night against Cleveland. This is his 5th start behind the plate. And he was saying today during batting practice, you know, I have to work so hard every day. This is a tough job, backup catcher. He said, I have about 200 swings in the cage. Every day I'm not playing. And I want to make it feel like I've played each day. Now Shopik out to the mound after ball 1. That's 5 straight balls.
What a great attitude. And I agree. I think that backup catcher, of course, I have perspective on that. I'm sure other position guys might say, oh, no, it's this position or whatever. But I think that really is the tough one. You spend so much time catching pitchers, spend your time during the ball game out in the bullpen and just grinding away with the guys, wearing out the knees and the feet, and really seemingly doing the work for everybody else, and it's hard to get your own work in.
And he said, I haven't had many right-handed at-bats, but everybody knows this is my better side. So takes a strike, 1-1. You know, quite often, and Bo Porter does not want to do this. He does not want to match a catcher with a particular pitcher.
It gets dangerous when you do. Sometimes it works.
I think Bo is probably more likely to put Carlos in there against a left-handed pitcher.
Take advantage of that right side of the plate.
Yeah. Because Jason Castro bats left.
And for that reason, if for nothing else, it's a nice combination with Castro. Although I will say that Jason Castro is starting to look like he's becoming much more comfortable against left-hand pitching. You look at his numbers from a year ago, they wouldn't indicate that he enjoyed hitting the lefties, but sure does look like it's improving.
And realize it had been a while since the last RBI by an Astro catcher, April 6th. 2-2.
Yeah, that's surprising because Jason has basically swung the bat well.
Second time through the order, the hitters are picking up on things, and the third time through, they're even better. That's not too uncommon.
Jason Castro getting a chance to relax a little.
Bouncer into right field. Nice work by Corcoran. He just flicked it. And with that hole on the right side, he gets Carter to second base. First and second, one out.
Good for those backup catchers. I'll tell you what, they really put in a lot of work to help the ball club. And nice when they can come up with a hit like this on a pitch not likely even near the corner.
Now we've got a timeout. And Bo Porter and Nate Lucero are running over to Corcoran at first base. And he seems to be assuring them that he's fine, and he is not coming out of this game. It looks like just by that body language and the way he's talking here. Must have been in something they saw in the way he ran first base. Let's see.
A little bit of a hobble there and crouched down, but then he had to make sure and let the no don't come near me. No, don't do this. This is just not right. I get a chance to play and you want to come out and talk to me about sitting down?
Ronnie Cedeno bats now. And that's strike one to Ronnie. He's singled to left field in the second inning.
You know what happens if you take me out of the game? You're going to send me out to the bullpen and catch those guys again.
We'll play any day. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And there have been 2 double plays turned behind Saunders in the second and third innings. He's thrown 54 pitches. The Seattle starters are 6 and 11 with a 4.43 ERA. The top 2 have been great. Hernandez and Masashi Iwakuma. Fly ball left field. 3-run jack for Ronnie Cedeno. Number 1 for Ronnie Cedeno. 4-0 Astros as he hits the seats and left.
Well, Ronnie Cedeno gets a chance to start. And we've talked about how good Marwin Gonzalez has been, but this is a nice addition to the offense. Looked like kind of a one-handed effort.
Yeah.
Got the short porch in left field. Not a big guy in Cedeno, but there it is, just really reaching out off speed, one hand. He knew he got it. Sometimes that extension is really the key to hitting one out of the ballpark, and he was fully extended. It doesn't even find seats, that finds wall.
Yeah. Cedeno hits number 1 as an Astro. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, out to visit Saunders, and it is 4-0 here. Well, set up by the Carter walk, and then Corcoran with the single through the right side, and Cedeno does the heavy lifting. 3-run homer to make it 4-0. Now it's Matt Dominguez.
Well, that home run ball can provide so much for a club.
Well, the Astros came into this game 5th in home runs in the American League with 22. They've hit 2 today so far. Dominguez lifts one out to left center field. Ibanez back, and on the warning track, he watches Andy Chavez catch in front of him. 2 outs. Well, the Astros have something pretty good going here with the shortstop position, a shared position, and the catcher position.
Yeah. Shortstop has been absolutely terrific. Ronnie Cedeno acquired during the end of spring training. Looked like he'd be the everyday guy, at least it sounded like it, but Marwin Gonzalez kind of taken over with some great play. But Ronnie says, don't forget about me.
Strike 2, Brandon Barnes. He singled to right field in the 3rd inning. So his batting average has come up to 370. Bobby Grossman on deck. It's toward the right field line off the end of the bat, but it'll go foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Barnes, another one of those guys pretty well suited to be in the number 9 spot with his speed and his on-base ability to help turn over the lineup.
Hasn't shown himself to be a big-time hitter yet professionally, but possesses other attributes, qualities when he does get on base to help out if he does.
1-2.
Very quiet on this breaking ball in the dirt. Not always easy to do.
Cedeno's homer was measured at 385 feet. Two balls, two strikes.
Handles that well, doesn't turn into the baseball, but eventually gets turned back toward the catcher.
And it's strike three call. That ends the Astros' fourth with the second strikeout of the day for Saunders. But after a walk and a single, Cedeno turned on one. And he just doubled his RBI count for the season. 4-0 Houston. On long balls, it's Earth Week. More than 75% of Americans commute by driving solo. Carpooling is eco and wallet friendlier. So grab coworkers and friends and hit the road together. Green is universal. For nothing, the Astros lead it. We go to the fifth inning. Lucas Harrell now has the run support, and he's retired 7 in a row. During this stretch, he moves to the fifth inning, and it's Kelly Shopik leading it off. Shopik hit a fly ball to center earlier. That is strike one. Lucas Harrell trying for his second win of the season. That would square his record at 2-2 if he gets it. George Springer hit 2 homers last night for Corpus Christi. That's a strike. 0-2. And Corpus Christi won in Midland 7-6 on a frigid Tuesday night. Springer is anything but frigid. He's off to a nice start for the Hooks.
All of this waiting going on because Kelly Shopik has to step out and take that routine each time, and I think Major League Baseball would be very well served if they could move the game along, let the pitcher and force pitchers to throw pitches to the plate.
1-2. Well, yeah, I agree with you. Why step out? It's just for their thought process, right? That's why hitters do this, so they can get their thinking together.
Well, and that's what they would probably tell you. You can do your thinking prior to getting up there and lock in.
Fly ball near the right field line. That's slicing away from Brandon Barnes, and it bounces into the seats. 1-2.
So by no means is Kelly Shopik the largest culprit in this regard, just one of.
Well, and with men on base, it's different. The pitcher sometimes takes more time, but
it happens.
Supposedly, with nobody on base, this is not supposed to be happening.
Should be able to inform the hitter, get in the box, and let's go ahead and play the game. And basically, Lucas Harrell has had to stand there and kill time because of what's going on.
Foul back. Still 1-2. So the question being, with George Springer off to a nice start for Corpus Christi, would Jeff Luhnow have considered promoting him to AAA with Robbie Grossman coming here to the major leagues? He said, no, we want to leave George where he is. And we have some other players. Chase Wan Lin is a good center fielder. We can play him there and some other guys at AAA. Ground ball, and Cedeno's there to his right. For out number 2. So let's take a look at a Geico quote.
Well, that quote is you have to know the strike zone as a hitter and know what it is you're trying to do. All that has to be made up before you step in the box, to our point exactly. That is George Springer, who hammered a couple last night. And, boy, we saw him during the spring early on when he got some chances. Was he ever good?
Well, you can see from last night there, he hit 1 to right center, 1 to right field. So 299, 5 doubles for Springer. And there's a strike to Dustin Ackley, who singled earlier. He has 6 homers, 16 runs batted in, and an OPS of 1,054. The 11th overall pick a couple of years ago. So he's definitely moving quickly on a path to get to the big leagues, but not ready for AAA. And Jeff Luhnow said, we don't believe in promoting because somebody got hurt and there's an opening at a higher level. We wait until we deem the player to be ready. So George Springer's going to stay at Corpus Christi.
Well, I'll tell you, the first 10 days, 2 weeks of spring training, I thought George Springer was the best looking player I've watched in the Astros camp.
Yes. He had a very good spring. Foul back.
And by no means in saying that am I saying, well, he's ready to play in the big leagues. And obviously he got wrong. It's just that at that time he showed that he can play with these guys.
He has a world of ability. Bouncer and Altuve backhands. High throw. He throws it toward the dugout. It kicks off that railing and bounces back. It should be a hit for Ackley. Altuve made a very aggressive play, got rid of it quickly, but the throw sailed high.
Take a look at this play, and what I see with Jose Altuve is a guy who gets rid of the ball maybe as quickly, maybe more so than anybody else playing that position right now around the big leagues. He doesn't take another step. It's just now, and probably didn't take enough time to get the good grip. He is just exceptional in this regard, and it shows up on the double plays so many times.
That's a hit for Ackley, and he's 2 for 2. Now Andino, he struck out earlier. This ball went to him. We're hearing that Andino may play the next few games, and Brendan Ryan may not play the next few games. Ground ball to Altuve. Quick toss, Cedeno. 4-6-3 double play. And in the 5th, it's no runs a hit, nobody left for Seattle. 4-0 Astros.
the Mariners 4-0, and I have the parents of Robbie Grossman who's heading to the plate right now. This is Rob and Patty, and very excited. I was behind him when Robbie got his first hit. What was that moment like for y'all?
Unbelievable. Yeah, now it's just baseball. We're not worried now.
How did you guys find out?
There's another one for Robbie, and this also is going to be a double to the left field corner. 2 doubles for the Grossman family.
And obviously very happy about that, too. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but what does this moment mean to you?
Oh, it's unbelievable, and you know, he's living his dream right now, so it doesn't get better than this.
Brownie, I'm going to let them enjoy this moment. Back up to you.
What a special time for them. And Bo Porter wanted Robbie to make his debut here instead of in Boston. What a special time as they enjoy a pair of doubles.
I think mom and dad may be living their dreams as well.
You know it. Now he's at second for Jose Altuve. And this is one of the things Bo Porter talked about in spring training, that his initial plan was to bat Altuve second in the order. And now here it is with Grossman in scoring position, and Altuve is a very good hitter with men in scoring position. He moves back, and it's 2-0. Not only can Altuve get on base, but he can drive in runs.
Also hits the ball to the right side at will, it seems, which can be very helpful. Hope for Robbie Grossman it works out that he's able to handle driving in all the way from Cyprus every day to play with his club.
I don't know, Robbie. 290 can be pretty rough. I'm not sure if you want to do this. 2 balls and a strike.
Jose, get him on in.
It's a break for Robbie. That trade that brought him here instead of having the Pittsburgh center fielder in front of him. There's a little tap to third base. And so he's not behind McCutchen anymore. That's out number 1.
It's funny how Jose Altuve, who is all the things we talked about, so good at hitting it the other way, gets a changeup, rolls over it, and hits that ground ball on the left side, and he is not happy about it.
No, that's what Saunders wanted. That runner to stay at second on out number 1. Brandon Laird ripped a double to the left field corner, and he grounded into a 1-4-3 double play. Saunders has thrown 67 pitches. Both of his previous road starts have gone badly, with an 0-2 record and 11.42 ERA for Saunders this season. He had allowed 11 earned runs in 8 2/3 innings on the road. And he hasn't done anything to change that today. In the dirt for a ball on Laird. Grossman has not been a big base stealer in the minor leagues. If you were to poll managers, players, general managers, what they want from a leadoff man, being on base would rank higher than stealing bases. Line shot left field. That's in fair territory. That's going to score Grossman. Here's Laird into second base. 5-0 Astros. Another double. That's number 4 of the day for the Astros. The second for Laird, and that gets him his second run batted in.
Some of the guys, some of the kids that were not with the ball club to start the season are really starting to pay off. Brandon Laird had that terrific spring, and you can only put so much into spring trainings, but boy, he's just carried it over.
So after the 0-for-23 drought with runners in scoring position, Cedeno last inning delivered a 3-run homer, and now another hit with a man in scoring position. Scores Grossman with his first major league run.
Hey, this is kind of fun.
Carlos Pena is 0-for-2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center. That's 9 hits for the Astros. Strike on Pena, and Saunders, who shut out Houston in the home opener for the Mariners, really struggling here now. He gave up just 6 hits and no runs in 6 1/3 innings in that 3-0 Seattle win in Seattle over Houston. Last homer he allowed to a left-handed batter, to James Loney, at the end of the 2011 season. Blake Bevan is warming up for the Mariners now. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Well, the Astros, if they win today, would go to Boston with a 3-3 record on this homestand. There's Bevan warming up, and then face that challenge of the first place Red Sox, and then the Yankees after them. Ground ball to second. Ackley over to Smoke. Laird to third, 2 outs. Now Chris Carter, he hit the long home run in the second inning, measured at 440 feet. Then he walked in the 4th. Cubs and Reds are scoreless. They've played 3.5 in Cincinnati. Jeff Samardzija on the mound for the Cubs. And strike 1 to Carter.
Brownie, you were just talking about on-base percentage versus stolen bases, and that managers would prefer the guy that gets on base more than the stolen base, and you can certainly validate that comment with teams last year.
Backhanded, and Andino throws to first, and we'll get your explanation on that when we come back. It's 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 left. RBI double Laird. 5-0 Astros. Sportsnet is brought to you by the Chipotle Chicken Combo. It's back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax. 5-0 lead for the Astros. We go to the 6th inning for Lucas Harrell. He delivers to Andy Chavez, and it's strike 1 call. Chavez opened the game with a single to left, then he was thrown out trying to steal. In the 3rd inning, he struck out. Well, Harrell backed with a good run support day for the Astros. Gets a little roller foul there, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for Lucas. He retired 8 in a row before the single last inning by Ackley. And Lucas has fallen into a nice groove. And his pitch count has really been a lot lower as he's moved along each inning. Right by his glove and on through into center field for a sharp single for Chavez. He's 2 for 3.
Now time for the Pitch by Pitch presented by Steel Dealers. Lucas Harrell is the feature today, as Lucas brings that off-speed pitch, maybe a slider, leaves it up, gets the swing, and comes in on the hands. We get the bat toss game going on. A lot of breaking balls, a number of pitches left up, but he's been successful. When it's all said and done, a shutout effort to this point.
like he's changed his normal pattern a little bit with those breaking balls today. Kyle Seager is walked and grounded out. Bouncer in the hole. Off the glove of the third baseman Dominguez, and on through into left center field. Chavez streaks to third. And Seager has a single to give him a 13-game hitting streak now. Dominguez diving, and then Cedeno was moving to his right. The ball went back to Cedeno's left and on out into left center. So that enabled Chavez to get to third.
This is a problem you run into with guys who are really terrific defensive players. They think they can make every play. And this was a play that looked like it was setting up much more easily for Cedeno, the shortstop. But how do you tell a guy don't go for balls?
Right.
You need to know when to lay off, I guess, is the bottom line, and this would have been one.
Now first and third, nobody out. Kendrys Morales is 0 for 2. A fly ball to right, a strikeout. Morales takes a look at ball one.
You know, we were talking, Brownie, just real quick, and I'll get through it. On base percentage versus stolen bases. And stolen bases only last year. You can point to the top teams in stolen bases, and they were clubs that really didn't do anything. San Diego and Miami, Minnesota were 2, 3, 4 on that list, just to give you an idea.
Double play ball, Altuve, Cedeno up and over to Laird. The run scores, but the Astros will allow that run to score and take 2 outs while it does for a 5-1 lead.
And if you turn to the bottom of that list, you get teams that did get to postseason. And I mean the very bottom: Baltimore, Detroit, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Texas. So I don't know that stolen bases bear out necessarily. They're a nice thing to have, and I think every club would love to have them, just like they love to get double plays. And this was a big one for Lucas Harrell.
4-6-3, the Astros 26th of the year. Chavez scoring on the double play. Now Michael Morse is the batter. He's 0 for 2. Well, it would be great to have both the on-base ability and stolen bases. That's a looping single into right center field. But it's about scoring runs.
Bottom line. You look offensively, and you can look at all the categories you like, but how many runs did your team score? And then, all the more important, how many runs did you score versus how many you allowed?
Now Justin Smoke comes up. Smoke is walked and fly to left. James Mouton, the Astros' last rookie with 2 doubles in his major league debut, before Robbie Grossman today. James was up in the mid-90s. There's ball one. Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies was the last major leaguer to have 2 doubles in his major league debut.
Fargo.
Grossman's in pretty good company there. Grossman very deep in left center field. Strike makes it a 1-1 count. Well, the Astros have really enhanced their depth in their minor league system, and Grossman's a big part of that. There he is playing center field in this game, in his major league debut game, part of the Wandy Rodriguez trade last July. Ground ball, and Altuve flags it down, rolls over, throws to first. What a play by Altuve! An amazing effort in right field by Altuve to get Smoke.
Watch him get rid of this baseball. Wow.
Spend your Cinco de Mayo at Minute Maid Park. First pitch against the Tigers is at 3:10. And 10,000 fans will receive a Los Astros t-shirt courtesy of Goya. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo Street Fest from 12 to 3 p.m. presented by Budweiser. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get your tickets now. Carlos Corporan leads it off. 5-1 Astros. Taking inside, ball one. Corporan has grounded out and he singled to right, and on that one he rode home on the 3-run Ronnie Cedeno homer. Cedeno's on deck with Dominguez to follow. And ricochets back onto the field, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Red Sox will be playing at home this afternoon against the Athletics. John Lester goes for Boston with a 3-0 record and a 1.73 ERA. Brett Anderson will be the Oakland starter. He's 1-3 with a 5.95. 2 balls and a strike. The Red Sox have been blazing a pretty nice trail in the American League to the tune of 13-7, and that ties Texas for the best winning percentage in the American League right now. Shot foul, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Rangers losing on a walk-off last night, a Howie Kendrick Angel home run. That was a 5-4 final for the Angels over the Rangers last night. That one hit him, and Corporan takes his base, hit by the pitch by Saunders. A great play by Jose Altuve.
You like the defense, you like this thing. And again, it's part of what we talk about, not only the glove portion, but how quickly he can get rid of the baseball and on the money in the process. Very nice. Now, you can make that part of it sometimes, but can't get everything straightened out to make the throw. Just almost instantly, when you watch full speed, he gets that together.
Something you have to see a few times to appreciate. Cedeno, the batter now. Strike to Cedeno. He's 2 for 2, including a 3-run long ball. Rangers and Angels meet later on tonight in Anaheim. It'll be Yu Darvish for Texas. Fly ball left field. Ibanez back at the wall. Feeling for that wall, looping up on it, and it kicks back toward the infield. Going to third, Corporan, stop sign there, and it's a double for Cedeno. He's 3 for 3 in this game.
Kind of like a don't forget about me ball game for Ronnie Cedeno. Well, that came very close to being dinger number 2 on the day. Towering drive. With this ball club heading to Boston, don't forget that stroke.
It's his 3rd hit of the day. They've all been to left field. Line drive single, a 3-run homer, and now a double off the wall.
That's a tough wall. You start dealing with scoreboards. You know, it's not a smooth surface, can be very rough, and you try to be aggressive and you get burned because the ball wants to kick back to the infield. He's had some experience with Fenway's Green Monster.
No, he has. Blake Bevan has been warming up now. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, has come out. We're going to go with Saunders. Matt Dominguez, the batter. Saunders has thrown 81 pitches. Dominguez bounced into a double play and hit a fly ball to center. Saunders pitched in college at Virginia Tech, where he went 27-7 with the Hokies. Brendan Barnes is on deck. It's ball 1 to Dominguez. Brewers play at San Diego tonight. They'll go with Estrada, who's 2-0 for them. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Milwaukee has won 9 in a row. Brewers trail St. Louis by a half game in the NL Central. Cincinnati also trailed by a half game. Yankees are at Tampa Bay later tonight with Andy Pettitte taking a 3-0 record to the hill and a 2.01 ERA. Ted Lilly returns, and he's pitching tonight for the Dodgers in New York. Line drive left. That's a hit. It'll score Corcoran, and now Cedeno to the plate. Ibanez's throw is there, but not fielded properly, and 2 runs scored. Dominguez into second, and it's 7-1. Kelly Shopik couldn't take that throw and apply the tag. It was rolling in, and he had to do it quickly. Cedeno was able to score to make it 7-1.
Well, that's an aggressive send by Dave Tremblay down at third base, because Ronnie Cedeno instantaneously had to freeze on this line drive, making sure it was not caught. With that line drive where you perceive as a base runner that an infielder might make the play. Instant freeze. Cedeno then reads it and gets sent. That's all you can do defensively. And it looked like the ball might have gotten there bang bang with the runner.
Not an easy play. Cedeno scores.
Shopik is pretty good at keeping guys off the plate, but Cedeno very good at getting that left hand on the dish.
That'll do it. Pitching change coming. Blake Bevan. It is 7-1 Houston. More in a moment. The Seattle Mariners. If your TV provider does not yet carry CSN, call and tell them you want your CSN. To get the facts and learn how you can help, go to iwantcsnhouston.com. We are working diligently to get CSN Houston on all TV providers. Blake Bevan made a couple of starts, and now he's in the bullpen, and last worked in relief in the Texas Rangers series. He's 0-1 in 5 games with an 8.22 ERA.
You can call him big fella if you want. 6'7", listed at 255. Former first rounder, 17th pick by the Texas Rangers.
He's from Irving, Texas. Pitched a perfect game with 18 strikeouts at Irving High School. Last year he was 11-11 for the Mariners. He pitched as a starter and reliever. And he started the game and lost in Seattle against the Astros April 10th to Brad Peacock. He gave up 5 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. Brandon Barnes is 1 for 2. He singled to right in the 3rd inning. Joe Saunders out of the game now, and Bevan taking over for the Mariners. There's strike 1 for Bevan. Aaron Harang has joined the rotation. He had been with the Dodgers to start the season, but the Mariners were able to deal to add him to their rotation, and he gave up 8 earned runs in 4 2/3 in his start in Texas over the weekend. So Bevan has been relegated to bullpen chores. Fly ball to right field. That'll loop in for a hit in front of Morse. Stop sign at third for Dominguez. And Barnes is 2 for 3.
Brandon Barnes has had a day, but Robbie Grossman is as well. His major league debut. A couple of doubles. Harvin one down the right field side, right on the chalk. And now for the second hit in the big leagues, another 2-bagger. Dad is not sure which one he likes best. But Robbie Grossman having a good time. He has scored a run. He has been an on-base machine in the minor leagues. And you can see this year with a .324 batting average, the on-base percentage up to .452. The Astros would love a piece of that.
Grossman has a pair of doubles in this game in 3 at-bats in his major league debut. Part of the ball game yesterday, which did not go the Oklahoma City Red Hawks way. They lost 12-2. But Robbie hit well in that one. Outside ball 1. You know, sometimes it's a real break for a player to get traded out of an organization. He's in that Pirate organization and behind McCutchen. Not to say he can't play the other outfield spots as well, but the way the Astros are restructuring, it would appear that this trade has given him an opportunity to be a part of this restructuring and ascend quicker to the major leagues.
I think as a right fielder, left fielder, you're expected to hit with more power.
Good point. 1-1 the count.
Is center field available here in Houston? Yet to be seen, but if he swings the bat like this, he'll find a spot somewhere.
Robbie had 68 at-bats in 19 games with the Oklahoma City Red Hawks. Had 16 walks, 20 strikeouts, and .805 OPS. Runner takes off for second, no throw. And there's a stolen base for Barnes. He was caught earlier. This is number 2 of the season.
It's Kids Day at the ballpark, and they're having a good time.
Two balls and a strike. The infielders come in. First major league RBI perhaps for Robbie Grossman here. That could be a day of firsts. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Come on, Robbie, get him in.
Blake Bevan pitched 3 days ago in relief at Texas, going 3 1/3 innings. And that ties the longest relief effort by a Mariner this year. In his 2 starts, he was 0-1 with an 8.44 ERA before he was moved to the pen. Grossman takes it, and it's 2-2. As Rob and Patty watch his 4th major league plate appearance.
Mom looks like she's had it together today. Dad, a little excited. Voice might be ailing a bit.
They're hoarse by now. They've had so much cheering to do for their son. This time it's a strikeout. 1 down. Jose Altuve would like to pick up these runs batted in. And also extend his hitting streak to 10 games. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. Certainly has made an impact defensively on this game.
This guy's something. Yeah. And you know he's not happy about that last at bat as he grounded out. Chance to drive in a run, or rather to move a man over. But boy, he just does so many things so consistently well.
And fouls that one for strike 1. Well, he's 0 for 2 in this game with a walk. Has 30 hits in the first 20 games. That's a nice pace. Matt Dominguez was talking about playing on the infield with Jose. And What a good group it is on the Astros infield. Jose likes to have a lot of fun out there, he said. Strike, and it's 0-2 now.
Well, I would say that if you go ahead and get yourself 30 hits for every 20 games, you're going to lead the league easily in number of hits, unless Ichiro resurges.
Well, you'll be getting to see Ichiro in a few days now.
New York Yankee, and he's had a slow start.
Line to second and caught there by Ackley, so that's a tough luck out number 2 for Altuve. Dominguez went diving back in, and now Brandon Laird will try to pick up these 2 runs batted in.
Just kind of reaching out, but that's one thing that Altuve does so well. You don't always get pitches to handle. What do you do with the other ones? And Altuve can get himself a load of knocks.
Bevan has retired Grossman and Altuve. Now it's Laird with a pair of doubles and an RBI. 7 runs on 12 hits for the Astros. Ball 1 for Bevan.
Pretty good looking pitch. I think when that's up at the front of the plate, it's probably high enough. Did it catch a corner?
Joe Saunders threw 83 pitches, 49 for strikes. Lucas Harrell's at 91 pitches. It's 1-1.
Kids, can you say identical?
There's another shot to left field. Brandon Laird chimes in with a 3-run homer. 10-1 Astros as Laird hits the 3rd long ball of the day. Second 3-run homer for the Astros, and that gives him 4 runs batted in this game.
There's a song that comes to mind. It's an ancient one, but how are you going to keep them down on the farm? Brandon Laird looks like he is just screaming out, "I'm ready to play."
That's home run number 2 of the season for him.
Not sure what he's hopping for, because he's got to know this is out and fair.
10-1. That's 13 hits for the Astros. Now Carlos Pena looks at ball 1.
You know what one of the healthiest things for a major league team is those laughers you come up with.
Yeah.
And when you can do it early in the ball game, 6th inning early enough, 10-1, just relax, have fun, swing the bats, and laugh and just have a great time together.
Pena puts it in the air, and here comes Andy Chavez sprinting into left center field. For the 3rd out, the Astros put together 4 hits in the inning and 5 runs. Dominguez chiming in with a 2-run single. And then Laird drives in 3 with a homer. Mariners 1 through 6. Tonight, the Rockets look to cool down Kevin Durant and even their series with the Thunder in OKC. Rockets and Thunder, it all starts with Rockets pregame live tonight at 5 o'clock p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Lucas Harrell with the big 10-1 lead delivers to Raul Ibanez, and it's strike one call leading off the 7th inning. Ibanez is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop to second. Harrell missing there as a 1-ball 1-strike count as he is at 94 pitches for the day. Swing and a miss makes it 1-2. Brandon Laird's best major league game. 3 hits is a high and 4 runs batted in a high for him. That one goes foul. 1-2. You brought up the point too that's interesting, Alan, about these players who are in the lineup today who were not in the original plans. Brandon Laird almost made the club, so he was right on the cusp. Fly ball to right. Brandon Barnes waiting for it. That's out number 1. But we've seen Grossman make his major league debut with a pair of doubles, and then Cedeno, who wasn't really in the picture when spring training started, he was a late pickup. He's had 3 hits, including a 3-run homer. Injuries have paved the way for Laird and Grossman to play. Kelly Shopik is 0 for 2. Fly ball to center and a ground out. Well, you know, we analyze teams in spring training based on what we think will be the 25-man roster, and then what, 3 weeks into the season, so many things change.
Time tells the story. There's no question, but teams get fooled all the time.
To Hopper, to Dominguez, don't they though? Yeah, but by necessity they have to look at other people, and those guys come through and grab jobs.
Not many a team that comes out of spring training that has a loaded veteran crew that is going to play at the start of the season and is still playing 2 months in. But yeah, I think that teams have their eyes on certain players and think, well, this guy's going to be a pretty good player someday, we think. But because of necessity, as you say, that player comes along a little sooner and he's able to play. And sometimes guys get Wally pipped. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Strike makes it 0-2.
Well, Gehrig shows up every now and then, maybe not in the Iron Horse form, but they might be pretty good players.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Dustin Ackley is 2 for 2 in this game.
I could have told you back then that a guy with the name Lou Gehrig was going to be pretty good.
All right.
This guy's got to make our club.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, it sure has been cold in Colorado, but the Braves continue to bomb away in that series, don't they? There were some long home runs in that doubleheader yesterday. Fly ball. So here's the question. Okay, if baseballs don't travel as well when it's cold, why were those balls traveling so? Well, they have the humidor, right? So that might have really helped.
Might have.
It's supposed to help the pitchers. Fly ball to left center field. And Carter moves over to take it for a 1-2-3 7th inning, 10-1 Astros. So enjoying the Astros display of offense today. They just got 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 5 in the 6th. And Lucas Harrell, the beneficiary of all this offense, has just had a brisk 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning. It is 10-1 now. The Astros lead it with Harrell going through the first 5 innings in scoreless fashion. The offense got revved up with a Chris Carter long home run in the 2nd, and then the 3-run shot by Cedeno in the 4th. Another 3-run shot in the 6th coming from Laird. And it's a happy day here in Houston at 10-1 Astros.
One of those stat building days, but much more importantly, you hope to get some hitters hot before heading in to face the Boston Red Sox for 4 games in Fenway.
Well, isn't that the truth? Chris Carter ripped a home run in the 2nd to make it 1-0. Then he walked and rode home on the Cedeno 3-run bomb in the 4th. He bounced out in the 5th inning. Tomorrow night in Boston, it's Philip Umber and Clay Buchholz, and they're at opposite ends of the 1-loss spectrum. There's ball 1. Umber's 0-4. Buchholz is 4-0. Friday night, Eric Bedard takes on Ryan Dempster, both looking for their first wins. Saturday night, it's Brad Peacock and Felix Doubrons. Strike from Bevan. And then Sunday afternoon, Bud Norris versus TBA.
That guy pitches all the time. I don't know how he does it.
Got a rubber arm.
Gets around from team to team.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Carter. In Cincinnati, it's 1-0 after 7. The Reds lead the Cubs with Matt Latos on the mound, pitching a beauty. Jeff Samardzija left after 6 innings, a 1-run baseball for the Cubs. Frazier hit a homer, number 6 of the year. Todd Frazier, third baseman for the Reds. There's Reiner Cruz working for the Astros in their pen. Blake Bevan is on the mound with a 2-2 pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes to Chris Carter. He struck him out for out number 1. Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like historic Union Station, the broadcasting booth, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-TOUR to schedule your tour today. Carlos Corporan next.
Hear about the great caper in San Francisco?
No, what happened? Kuiper pulled a caper?
There, yeah. Well, you got 2 Kuipers in that Bay Area to pull it off, too.
That's 2 Kuipers picked up Peter Kuiper.
No, in this case, it's actually Barry Bonds' record. The plaque that commemorates Barry Bonds' record, 756th home run, is now missing from AT&T Park, and somebody knows where it is.
Somebody does. Strike to Carlos Corporan, 1-1. Well, who do you think might have done such a dastardly deed?
Based on your comments, you kind of led me on to one of the Kuiper brothers, broadcasters.
No.
One for the Giants, one for the Oakland A's.
Well, Dwayne would never have taken it.
You don't think so?
With all the famous home run calls he made.
Former teammate of mine, and I'm not so sure.
Now, okay, so Dwayne Kuiper was a teammate of yours in Cleveland, right?
Yes, he was. And in Oklahoma City, minor league ball.
And exactly how many career major league home runs did Dwayne hit?
Well, I think he can count them on one finger. Did he hit one or did he hit none?
He hit one.
Yeah.
So here he is with all these famous home run calls. He's called hundreds of home runs, and he hit one.
He hits it high.
He hits it deep. He called one of those last night.
Yeah.
Another game winner.
Well, they had plenty of time to work on the call. Glenn Kuiper, the brother of Dwayne, calling games on TV for the Oakland A's.
He can make those calls for Yoenis Cespedes. Strike him out, 2 outs. Let's see what Ronnie Cedeno's been doing.
It's been pretty good. That home run, a one-hand job off the wall in left field above the Crawford boxes, and then hits a towering shot challenging the wall and takes it off the wall. 2-bagger. Ronnie Cedeno, a big part of what has gone on here today. Scored a couple of runs, driven in 3. First dinger on the year.
Nice cycle from Luke Scott in 06 against the Diamondbacks. Ronnie needs a triple. What are the odds against him getting a triple? Any idea?
Well, those odds were heavily stacked and won out against me throughout my career. So, you know, maybe they look good for Ronnie Cedeno. Who knows?
Did you ever hit a triple?
Oh yeah. That's an offensive question.
How many do you think you hit?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't very many, but I can tell you this: I stretched many a triple into a double.
Okay.
I remember hearing that lousy boo at the old Astrodome of standing at second base and on a ball that anybody else had a triple on it. Why do you have to boo me, please?
Well, the researchers have uncovered the number 13 to go with your triples.
Well, it's higher than I might have guessed.
Struck him out looking. He struck out the side after 7. 10-1 Astros.
Leading the Mariners 10-1 as we head to the 8th inning, and it's time to announce our progressive fan of the game. Got the bag and I've got the fan. This is Marianne to my left. She's enjoying this day game. Here you go, sweetie. What do you think of the game so far? 10-1 Astros.
Awesome. All these home runs. I can't believe it. It's great.
She's enjoying the hitting. Guys, I actually got a chance to talk to John Malley, the hitting coach for the Astros, before the game, talking about just overall and what he thinks so far. And he said, one thing we have to remember, a lot of these guys don't have a lot of major league at-bats, so they'll continue to improve. Also, they're about to see some of these pitchers again, like Saunders. He was looking forward to seeing what they would do today. Well, I bet he's excited about what he's seen today so far. What do you think?
John will have a very nice flight to Boston. Yes, he will. Reiner Cruz comes in. It's 10-1 Astros, and Cruz will face Robert Andino leading it off. Andino's 0 for 2. Ball 1 from Reiner. Lucas Harrell with a very good day.
I think Doug Brocail might have a nice flight as well.
True.
Nice to see the pitching side come through.
Lucas Harrell, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. 2 double play balls. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, I know pitchers don't always see their games exactly the way others might. I didn't see this as a Bud Norris type of game. We talked about Norris in Anaheim, how sharp he was, pitch after pitch after pitch. But it was effective when it was all said and done. And Lucas Harrell now in 5 starts has been quite good statistically 4 times.
2 balls and a strike.
One rough one will beat up the stats for a pitcher.
It sure will this early in the season. The Astros came into this game having been outscored by their opponents by 39 runs for the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Today they're winning at 10-1. Their biggest win in terms of run differential this season was 16-9 at Seattle April 9th. Winning by 7. They're winning by 9 right now. They haven't had many like this. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And again in that category that the players will call laughers. Would you like it? Carlos Corporon seemed to like it. But the laughers are good. They're very good for what goes on over the course of a season.
That's a leadoff walk to Andino. In Chicago, it's 3-2. The White Sox lead the Indians in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now Cedeno comes in to talk to Cruz. Alex Rios hit his 6th home run for the White Sox.
Brocail looks like he's in party mode already.
Well, for Lucas Harrell, it was the first time he's gone as long as 7 innings this season. He went 6 in his first start. That was a 7-0 loss here to Texas. Bud Norris has gone 7 innings once. That would be a nice trend to see continue for a while. Strike to Endy Chavez. He has a pair of hits and a run scored.
These 7-inning outings from the starting staff will do so much for the bullpen.
They really will.
Love to get to that point where you say, well, so and so is throwing because he needs to get some work in.
Yeah. 0-2. We haven't had that, have we? And Bud went 7 when he shut out the Angels in Anaheim. That was back on April 12th. And then 2 days later, Phil Humber went 7 in a 4-1 loss. So this is the 3rd time an Astros starter has gone 7 innings in a game this year. Line foul. 0-2. There was a team, I think it was Baltimore, had not had a starter go 7 yet this year.
That can't leave a real happy Buck Showalter.
No.
This fan with a big smile found out a line drive's a little bit tough.
Tapped out to second. Here's Altuve tagging, and then the umpire got down and called out. And that's Chris Guccione. But then Altuve did not throw over his head to first base. Just stopped with the 4 unassisted out, number 2.
Only because of the speed of Chavez do the Astros not get a double play. Wise choice here by Altuve. I don't think with the toss to his shortstop that they get the double play either. It's that slowly hit ball on the right side makes it all the tougher.
Well, rather than being Chris Guccione, he did not make the throw.
It's a pretty good choice too.
Kyle Seager has a hit and a walk today. Paid attendance 11,681. Seager looks at ball 1.
So why is it with the unwritten rules in baseball that you're trailing by a big number if you're Seattle? You got a man on first base. The defense is playing all the way back, taking every advantage they can, and you can't run.
Should.
If you do, you're showing the other team up. I think rules like that are absolutely ludicrous.
That is crazy.
You should be trying everything you can do to get back in this ballgame.
Yeah. Why not run? They're giving you the base.
This baseman's all the way back. He wants every advantage he can have.
Not running. 2 balls and a strike.
That's my point of view on that. Imagine Eric Wedge feels the same way, but can't do anything about it.
Three balls and a strike.
Yeah, look, I get it on the other side. If you're leading and you've got the base runner, lay off a little bit.
Right.
But not this way.
No, if you're up 10-1, you don't want to be running. Well, there's a walk. Seager.
And I don't know what that figure is. Is it 6 runs after 6 innings or 7 innings? Is it 7? 5? Seems to be a different set of numbers that all managers possess.
MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribers today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. 2 men on, 1 out. Kendrys Morales, the batter. There is strike 1 to him. Morales is 0 for 3. Yeah, what would be the problem with Chavez running in this situation? It would be hard to find any kind of a thought process against that. But yeah, if you're up, well, people say 7 runs. If you're up by 7 in the 7th inning, shut down the running.
I've heard quite a variety on that.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yep. There's no definitive on what the figure is and what inning it is when this comes into play.
What would you say? You managed. When would you shut down the running game? What kind of a lead?
Well, for me, and if I'm the Mariners, I'm running right here. I'm running 2 guys into scoring position so that if I get a single, we have 3 runs on the board and have a chance to get back in the ballgame.
After shortstop, Cedeno in. Makes the play. 2 outs, runners at second and third now.
I'll tell you what I would do. Of course, I wouldn't do anything, but I would want to talk to the guy who wrote that book and say, now, wait a minute. What's the reason for this? Because I thought competitively here in the major leagues, we were going at each other tooth and nail. We were giving it everything we had. Why is there a lay down moment in a major league ball game? I don't get it.
Don't know why. No. Mike Morris is 1 for 3, but I'm going to give you and Blummer a new book that's out that I'm reading called The Code.
Oh dear. Da Vinci have anything to do with this?
No, it's not the Da Vinci Code. It's the baseball code.
Okay.
It's the unwritten code of things like when you shut down the running game.
So if you're a manager, is that must reading?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But they interviewed a lot of people in baseball to get this one. So they went up to guys who have managed for 20 years. Hey, if you're up 10-1 in the 7th inning, do you shut the running game down? Yes, you shut the running game down. And, so there are a lot of opinions in there about that.
So if you're down 10-1 in the 7th inning, do you shut the running game down?
No.
And they're going to say yes because they're scared to run because somebody's going to get retaliated on.
Why?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
The only reason I could think of would be that somebody might get hurt. 3-0. But you don't play the game defensively, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to try to win. And if you're the Mariners right here, you can't win unless you put some runs on the board and take a shot at a big inning late in the ball game. I don't know.
Strike makes it 3-1. That makes sense what you're saying.
Plenty of people tell me I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter to me.
Point is, this code is rather elusive. It could be one thing to one manager, another thing to another.
And that's true. And I've heard about managers arguing over what the precise meaning of the code is.
Sure. 3-2 now. One time the Reds were playing the Dodgers back in the 70s. And the Dodgers had a big lead. It was something like this, 10-1 maybe in the 7th or 8th inning. And Davey Lopes was batting. And Dave Tomlin was in the game in relief. And Davey Lopes swung at a 3-0 pitch. And the Reds were furious over that.
How dare you?
Oh, they got mad.
How dare you?
It really started something. Swing and a foul tip strikeout to end the top of the 8th inning. With no runs, no hits, a couple men left. And in the middle of the 8th inning, it's 10-1 Houston. You to tune into Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning at 9:30 on CSN. Chevy Hometown Kids, where it's not about the score but the experience. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in Houston. The Astros trying to win a series for the 2nd time this year. They have won one series. That was in Seattle when they took 2 out of 3. And now trying to make this a 2nd win over the Mariners, and that would be a 4-2 record against Seattle for the season series if they get it. It'll be Dominguez, Barnes, and Grossman in the bottom of the 8th for Houston. Matt Dominguez drove in 2 with a single to left in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. There's strike 1 from Blake Bevan. He struck out the side in the 7th inning. Came in relief of Joe Saunders, who went 5, allowing 11 hits and 8 runs, walking 2 and fanning 2. Breaking pitch makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You know, when we were so rudely interrupted by that commercial break,
that was wrong.
We're talking about the code, right? So, no, that code should not apply to games at Coors Field.
Coors Field, Fenway Park. How about Wrigley with the wind blowing out?
Different.
You shut it down in the 6th inning when there's a 6-run lead?
No. With a drive to left field, it's hooking and going foul. So back to that situation with Cincinnati and the Dodgers in the 70s. The team's up 10-1 in the 7th inning. Green lighting a player on 3-0. Do you have a problem with that?
Only because of the code. Again, for me, I honestly go back to what's supposed to be going on down on a major league field. This is supposed to be competition at its highest level, right?
Right. Bouncer on through into center field. Dominguez is 2 for 4 again. He was 2 for 4 last night. Yeah, you're right. So why rein it in?
I guess bottom line, there are some points at which, and you can see Matt Dominguez pick up his 2nd hit of the afternoon, and good to see for Matt. But I guess there are some points where you might want to just tone it down a bit. But I don't understand the umbrage that's taken because somebody swings at a 3-1 when you're leading by 7 runs or 6 runs or 5 or whatever it may be late in the ballgame. I just don't get it.
Brendan Barnes is 2 for 3 with a run scored and a steal. Little chop. Bevan glances at second, throws to first, 1 out. Well, as the Dodgers said the next day after the fracas was over, what if Lopes had popped up instead of hit a home run? Then nobody's saying anything, right?
Well, somebody would have grumbled on the bench, but you know, I've just been a part of it too many times, and too many times sat there and thought, this is just ludicrous what's going on. What we all tend to believe because we've been told that's the way you play this game. Let's not steal a base to try to get back in a ball game. That one I have no patience for at all.
Robbie Grossman is 2 for 4 in his major league debut. 2 doubles for Robbie Grossman and a run scored. So he gets a shot here again at his first major league RBI. Dominguez at second base. Strike to Grossman.
Heaven forbid a guy on the team that's leading takes a big swing at home plate that's perceived as being a little too much.
Grossman won the Josh Beckett Award in 2008 as the Houston Area Player of the Year. In high school at Cy Fair. And we just had Scott Kazmir pitching in the series for Cleveland, and he went to Cy Falls High School.
A lot of good talent has come out of Houston, continues to do so.
No balls, 2 strikes.
You know, here's another thing, and it's completely off the mark of what we've been talking about. But Blake Bevan, for example, is 6'7". He's a huge guy, and he's in that category of what scouts look for among pitchers. You want to find that big-bodied guy because he's going to throw hard and he's going to stay healthy longer than the other guys. But we're watching Blake Bevan toss fastballs at about 87 miles an hour consistently here. It doesn't always pan out.
That's for sure.
You know, and the Astros, of course, had Billy Wagner. And I don't know if Billy had a hard time getting scouts to take a good look at him because of his size.
He had problems, yes.
Yeah.
That was a real stigma, and it's even worse for a short right-handed pitcher.
I'll bet it is.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Heard one guy, Tim Hudson, who's been a long-time fine major league pitcher, had a hard time getting people to look at him because he wasn't large in stature. I know Roy Oswalt was in that category.
Sure. Greg Maddux wasn't very large. Pitches outside, 3-2.
I think it's difficult for a scout who sees a guy who throws really well, who seems to have maybe some extra abilities, maybe some makeup, but he's a small guy. I imagine it's hard to call in and say, hey, I've got this guy that I'd really like to have considered. How big is he?
Foul back.
Good swing.
Well, the Astros, and was talking with General Manager Jeff Luhnow about this. He has seen about 8 or 10, I think he said, of the guys who figure to be drafted at the top of the list in the June draft. So they're bearing down on that #1 overall choice this year. And Jeff is not going on the road trip with you guys. He's going to stay back here, do some work for the draft, among other things. Strike 3 call, and Grossman thought it was ball 4. That's out number 2. It's Earth Week. Next birthday or holiday, give friends and family memorable experiences as gifts. Massages, theater tickets, lessons, homemade meals. You'll save natural resources and reduce waste. Green is universal.
Robbie Grossman, we talked about him being a minor league on base percentage guy. I don't know if you get that call maybe more often in the minor leagues. As a youngster in the major leagues, you're probably going to have some called against you that you may not see some years later, but frustrating for Mom, that's for sure.
Now this could be the last chance for Jose Altuve to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. It certainly would appear that way. There's ball 1. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. They lined out to second in the 6th inning with the infield in. Ground ball to shortstop. And the throw from Andino takes care of out number 3, ending the 8th inning with the Astros leading 10-1. is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Now Paul Clemens comes in working the 9th inning after Cruz worked the 8th, and Reiner in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs. He walked 2 and had 1 strikeout.
Paul Clemens has done a nice job in 12 2/3 innings over 3 games. 8 hits allowed, 5 earnings. So the ERA at 3.55. Not a big strikeout guy to this point, 4 strikeouts, but a guy who has a good fastball. You could see him starting to pump up some of the strikeout numbers.
Mariners have not won a series this season. They've lost 4 and split 2. They're going to be going back home to meet the Angels. The Astros trying for their 2nd series win. Would like to take a 7-14 record to Boston. And Clemens got his Major League win, number 1, in Seattle, April 9th, in his debut. He came in with the Astros leading 13-0 in the 5th inning. Eric Bedard, the starter, left on a pitch count. And Clemens gave up 6 hits and 5 runs in 4 innings, but at that point he was just throwing fastballs for the most part. Since then, he had a 5 1/3 inning scoreless relief appearance in Oakland and 3 1/3 innings of scoreless relief against Cleveland 4 days ago. Justin Smoke, the batter. Strike 1 to him. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. So that ERA you mentioned, Paul Clemens, has been plummeting the last 2 appearances, down to 3.55. With 8 2/3 scoreless frames. Fly ball up the right field line, hit well for distance, and that is going to be a home run for Justin Smoke. Number 1 of the season for Smoke. He's been pulling the ball consistently in this series, but this is the first time he's really gotten the ball up. It's 5 runs batted in for Smoke, and it makes it 10-2.
Fastball in that wheelhouse, somewhat down and in for left-hand hitters. That's where they say it is. Not true for everybody, but certainly works out right here.
Strike 2 Ibanez. He's 0 for 3. Well, the Mariners get their 22nd long ball of the season. Well, these 2 teams have hammered away at each other in the season series with homers. Clemens knocks it down, picks it up. That was out Ibanez. 1 out.
Time to check the pinky.
Yeah, maybe so. He dislocated it in that last appearance on the road before pitching here against Cleveland. Justin Verlander, Miguel Cabrera, and the reigning AL champion Detroit Tigers come to Minute Maid Park Thursday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 5th. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to get your tickets now. That'll be the next homestand, May 2nd. Kelly Shopik is the batter. Shopik is 0 for 3. Strike 1 for Paul Clemens, who came to the Astros in the trade with the Atlanta Braves from Michael Bourne, along with Brett Oberholzer, who has pitched here once in the big leagues, and Jordan Schaefer. Clemens goes to a 1-ball, 1-strike count now. The Mariners have hit 10 home runs, and the Astros 13 home runs in their season series, and this is game number 6. A frantic pace. Cedeno takes it for round number 2. What's coming up for you and the Blummers starting tomorrow? Let's see, we have a 5 o'clock Astros pregame live show Thursday, and then it moves up to 5:30 Friday and Saturday, and noon Sunday for the Boston Red Sox series. Then on to New York, 5:30 pregame shows for those 3. First visit to Fenway since 03 for the Astros.
I am all a tingle.
Justin Ackley's 2 for 3. There's ball 1.
Well, we'll miss you. Hope you have a good time.
Well, I know you guys will have a good time settling into that booth at Fenway Park and looking out at the Green Monster. I'll be watching. Ground ball up the first base line into right field. Here's extra bases this time for Ackley. And Ackley takes a look at his coach, Jeff Datz, who stops him at second with a double. his third of the season. Well, that's another nice game for Ackley. Had 3 hits Monday night, 1 last night, 3 more hits today for Ackley.
What he has done this season, he tends to do against the Astros in terms of the positives. Came in hitting .333 against the Astros, gets a pitch in and hits it sharply down the line.
It's 8 hits for the Mariners. Robert Andino is 0 for 2 with a walk. So I guess Raul Ibanez would be the ancient Mariner. Right? Struck one.
He's 40, but I think you've decided he's 42.
I know he's 40. We lopped off a couple years. He was running better today. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. It's all relative, Ash.
So they say. I'm not so sure. Recent years have kind of dropped the relativity for me.
Our theory of relativity has changed in formula for you, huh?
It has.
Reds 1, Cubs nothing. Bottom of the 8th at Cincinnati. A Todd Frazier homer, his 6th, is holding up for Matt Latos and company. Ball stays up a little bit, and it's 1 and 2. As Clemens tries to nail this one down, and it's a good trend here for Bo Porter. As you see, he had to reach a little bit for that because Veras gets a rest. He had pitched in back-to-back games. Ambrose gets a rest. They haven't had to warm up today. 2 and 2. How that bullpen can change in just a few days, you know.
And there for a while it was a daily change.
Really? Yeah. I think they have the little tickets like when you go in the grocery store for guys in the bullpen.
Jose Cisneros took good care of what was going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead and hang around here now.
There's a shot and on through into center field. That'll score a run with Ackley coming in to make it 10-3. A liner right back at Clemens. And now here comes Bo Porter and Rex Jones right behind him to see about Clemens. Andino gets his 2nd RBI.
Paul doesn't look like he's in the talking mood right there. Let's see if he tries to reach with that right hand. Not so much. It's the right hip that takes the brunt.
Okay.
Maybe the little bit of the back.
Yeah, he was reaching for his back.
Maybe a kidney punch.
It looked to be in that area.
Whatever you do, lose that tendency to reach with the right hand.
Yeah. That generally does not work out. Did you see the Kyle Loach injury? That was a weird one.
Oh, that one slipped by me.
Well, he hurt his left hand either yesterday or the day before, running to first base, and he hit the hand on the back of the first baseman.
Did see that. This is the one we're referring to, reaching with the right hand, and yeah, the baby finger seems to be bent out of shape.
Wow.
And then he stays in the ball game because he just kind of decides, well, let's let the trainer pop it back into position. I've done this a million times, he says. And let's go.
Well, he's not coming out of this game. Andy Chavez, the batter. Fly ball. Headed for the center fielder, Robbie Grossman. Major league debut. He catches the ball for the final out. Paul Clemens gets that final out. And Robbie Grossman had a pair of doubles in his major league debut. First day in the big leagues back in Houston, Texas. Not far from where he went to high school at Cy-Fair. And it's a big day all around for the Astros. Lucas Harrell goes to 2-2, beating Joe Saunders, who's 1-3. And the Astros with a 3-home run attack win it today, 10-3.